Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. In this video, we're going to be comparing these three guitars, a Stratocaster, a Telecaster, and a Les Paul. And I'm going to be showing you and demonstrating with sound examples why I feel the Telecaster is the most versatile guitar that you can get. And I'm also going to be showing you why I feel a twin humbucker guitar like a Les Paul just doesn't work for me. If you haven't liked or subscribed already, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll be notified of any future videos that come out from the Studio Rats. Right, let's get to it. First of all, let's have a quick look at the differences between the Telecaster and the Strat. Now, obviously, there's a shape difference. We're not talking about that, but the sound difference. So with a Telecaster, what you've got the bridge pickup and the neck pickup. The bridge pickup is mounted into this steel tray, which is called an ashtray, and the neck pickup is mounted directly into the guitar. Also, with a traditional Telecaster, the strings go through the body and come out here. So the strings are going through the body. It's adding to the resonance of the guitar. Now, with a Strat, first of all, these pickups here are much shorter. They're mounted onto the scratch plate, so that's going to affect the sound of it as well. And also, as you can see, the strings don't go through the body, they go into this trem system, which is then mounted onto the guitar by these 6 screws down here. Now, going back to the Telecaster bridge pickup is also mounted on metal, brass, sometimes steel, and that also adds to the sound of this pickup as well. And because it's a much deeper pickup, you normally get more windings around a Telecaster pickup, which gives it slightly more output than a Strat. Now, I am a little bit biased because the Telecaster is my favourite instrument. Now, when I was younger, I used to hate Telecasters. I used to think they were ugly things, never really got it, always liked Strats or Strat sort of style guitars. But I don't know, I reached a certain age and the Telecaster just became my favourite instrument. I think someone lent me one for a gig and it just cut through the mix. It just sounded absolutely fantastic. So from there, that started my love of Telecasters. Right, let's go on to the sound examples. Right, what I'm going to do now is to play more or less exactly the same sort of thing, but using the Strat. Now, we're going to be using the bridge pickup again, like we did on the Telecaster, but what I want to show you is how much harsher a Strat bridge pickup is, a vintage Strat pickup is, compared to a vintage Telecaster pickup. Now let's try the same sort of thing again, but using a Les Paul. Now again, we're going to be using the bridge pickup. Now what you'll notice about the Les Paul, it has a great smooth sort of lead sound. It's not harsh like the Strat is, and it's more like the Telecaster that has the power, has more power than the Telecaster, but the Telecaster has even more bite than the Les Paul. So let's play the same sort of thing and you'll hear the difference. So what we're going to try now is something that the Strat really excels at, which is like a low gain Hendrix sort of sound. We're going to try it first of all on the neck pickup of the Telecaster, then the neck pickup of the Stratocaster, and then on the Les Paul. Now, what you'll notice with this is the Telecaster and the Stratocaster really poke through the mix, and the Les Paul, because it's got much higher output on the pickups, it's crunching into the front of the amp, so it's squashing the amp. Now this amp that I'm using, which is a Rev D20, hasn't got a ton of headroom in it, so the Les Paul really compresses the front end, and you'll hear that. Now, before we do the last example, I'm just going to show you another reason why I can't stand Les Pauls. This is what happens when I sit down with a Telecaster. It's completely balanced in my lap. Now, a Strat is perfectly balanced like the Telecaster, sits in your lap, the headstock stays exactly where it is. Now with a Les Paul, this is what happens. The weight is completely wrong on a Les Paul. The body is so heavy that all it wants to do all the time is just tip back. So let's move on to the next example. Now lastly, what we're going to do is to play some clean, just on the verge of breakup sort of sound, and you're going to hear the power difference between a Telecaster, Strat and Les Paul. You'll notice with the Telecaster that it has a really glassy sort of sound that can cut through the mix. The Strat has an almost piercing sort of sound, and the Les Paul will just flatten the front of the amp. Okay, so the Les Paul didn't work at all using this sound, and this is one of the reasons why I don't ever gig with a Les Paul. A Les Paul's great in the studio, I pick it up for the occasional thing, but I can't gig with a Les Paul unless I'm just doing a gig with Les Pauls, because you can't use the same setting on the amp. And this is the thing about Les Pauls, is that the two pickups almost don't match each other. You have to have a different EQ for the bridge pickup than you do for the neck pickup, and the different gain structure in the amp as well. So let's adjust the amp and then try that again with a slightly cleaner sound. I really hope you guys got something out of that. Now, if you want to leave a comment and let me know what you guys preferred, and also don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll be notified of any future videos that come out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul from the Studio Rats, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.